There were some questions on whether the Pocket 6K Pro would balance well on a gimbal because of its larger size. We've got a Canon 24mm lens, L lens, mounted on the Pocket 6K, and we've got nothing extra except for this quick release plate which I use on all my camera equipment, and I've got it snapped onto the Crane 2S. So as you can see, I balance it pretty well. You can see that I am able to clear the rear axis. Alright, just take note that this one is after removal of the original arm that is behind. So I really benefit from this tilt screen. Okay, of course this would change the balance, but the good news is that the motor is strong enough to handle this easily. So anyway, I'm gonna turn it on right now. So I was able to balance this pretty well with auto motor tuning, and it's very stable. The only challenge being if you're on the low mode, you will find that you can't see like before, and if you try to push that screen up, you can, but just by very little. So just take note of that. So this is kind of like the maximum. Obviously this additional plate here helps me because I've moved the whole camera upwards away from the center, which gives me more clearance. And the next thing being, the Crane 2S can handle the weight as it is without any additional counterweight. So that's really something I appreciate a lot. And now this has a large screen, so I find no need for an external monitor at all. So I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so now we have changed the lens to a 16-35 Mark II. And I think this lens is very suitable for the Pocket 6K Pro because it's fully constrained, as in when you change the focal length, the weight shifts internally but nothing moves externally. So it's not that massive, and I'm going to show you shortly that this gimbal can handle this weight easily. But the next important thing is that although this lens has distortion at the sides, but because this is Super 35 and this is a full frame sensor, I think it takes out the distortion at the sides. So it works very well in its favor. And just same thing here, what I want to mention is make sure you flush the side of the camera to this axis, otherwise you may get vibration issues. So this is something that is peculiar to the Zhiyun gimbals. I don't know whether it's the same for other brands, but anyway, I'm going to show you first of all that it clears this axis, and I can do a vortex mode easily, and I can still have this little tilt here, so that's pretty good. So the next thing is that if I want to change my focal length, now I change it to 35, and earlier I demonstrated that it will tilt, right? But right now, you look at this, it is fine. So what I think is that this gimbal is a very good companion for the Pocket 6K. Only in a situation where if you need to put something like this, follow focus, I think in that situation you have no choice but to put a counterweight. But for me, I'm a one-man band most of the time, and I tend to forget stuff. So I hope this has been useful. Till the next time, goodbye.